All right, let's just jump right in. Something pretty huge is happening right now in the world of digital creativity. It feels like we're moving past all the tools we've known for, well, decades and stepping into a totally new way of thinking and a new way of making things.
Now, this isn't just, a new app or another software update. No. What this quote is getting at is a fundamental change, a shift in the very relationship between us, the humans, and our machines. It's like we're completely rewriting the rulebook for creativity.
So, to really get a handle on where all this is headed, I think it's super important to first look back. We need to be crystal clear about where we've been. Let's talk about the creative world that, honestly, until just a little while ago, was the only one we ever knew.
For decades, pretty much forever in the digital age, we've been working under this idea called user-centric design. And really, it's a model where you, the human creator, are the absolute star of the show. You're the only one doing anything, the only active force in the room.
I mean, just think about it for a second. Your word processor, it just sits there blank, waiting for you to type something. A digital paintbrush in Photoshop, it waits for you to make a stroke. The tool is, well, it's completely passive. It doesn't have any ideas, it's got zero initiative. It's basically an instrument, and you are the musician.
So yeah, the key takeaways from this old world are pretty straightforward, right? The human, that's you, is the one and only creator. The software is just a dumb, passive instrument. And the actual work? It's all about direct manipulation. Clicking, dragging, typing, literally forcing every single thing into existence. Now, hang on to that thought, because the contrast with what's coming next is, well, it's pretty striking.
And yeah, this is exactly where everything changes. We are now stepping into a totally new era. And it's not defined by just a better, faster tool. It's defined by a new partner. Welcome to the world of the Agentic Copilot.
Agentic Design, it basically takes that old model and just flips it completely on its head. This is all about a collaborative relationship. You're not just using a tool anymore. You're entering into a dialogue with it. The AI is no longer that passive word processor. Suddenly, it's this intelligent partner that can understand high-level direction and actually produce really complex work on its own.
And when you see them laid out side by side like this, man, the difference is just night and day, isn't it? We go from being the sole creator to being in a human-AI partnership. The tool goes from being a passive instrument to an active collaborator. And our focus? It shifts away from all that tedious direct manipulation and moves toward this high-level dialogue and direction. It's a total game changer.
So what does this actually mean for you, the creator? Well, it means your job description is basically being torn up and rewritten from scratch. The very nature of what we call creative work is being elevated to a whole new level.
This comparison really hits the nail on the head. On one side, you have the old role, the laborer. You're just toiling away over every single sentence, every pixel, facing that awful tyranny of the blank page. But the new role? You become the director. Seriously, think about a film director. They're not writing every line of dialogue or holding the camera themselves, right? Of course not. They are setting the high-level vision, they're guiding the talent, and they're shaping the final cut. That is the new creative.
And this new role, well, it brings with it a totally new workflow. It doesn't start with a blank page anymore. It starts with strategic ideation, big picture thinking. Then you move into setting the right constraints, the guardrails. Then comes the really crucial part, mastering the art of the prompt to guide your AI partner. And finally, you step in as the curator, refining what it gives you to match your unique vision.
And this right here, this is the absolute core of the new skill set, the art of the prompt. It's so much more than just typing a question into a box. It's about being able to perfectly articulate your intent, to set creative boundaries, and to guide this incredibly powerful copilot exactly where you want it to go. Honestly, it's the new creative superpower.
Now, here's where things get even more interesting, even more profound. The biggest, most revolutionary part of this whole new paradigm, it isn't just that the AI can generate text or images. The real magic is in this unseen shift in how we structure our creative work in the first place. So this slide says a database is an epistemology, which, is a fancy word. It really just means a way of knowing. And that is such a powerful idea. Because when you start treating your creative project like a database instead of a simple document, it fundamentally changes what you can know about it, and more importantly, what you can do with it.
Let's make this real for a second. Look at this example of a story chapter. In this new model, it's not just a big old block of text. It's a structured object. The title is one piece of data. The characters are another. The metadata, like genre and tone, is another. Even the prompt for an image is its own piece of data. Your story literally becomes a dataset that you can query and analyze.
So, why does this even matter? What's the big deal? Well, because when your creative world is a database, you unlock some incredible new powers. Suddenly, you can scale up and manage massive projects with ease. You can search for any tiny element instantly. You can remix different parts to create totally new variations on the fly. You're not just organizing files anymore. You're building a dynamic, living, intelligent system.
So when you start putting all these pieces together, right? The AI co-pilot, your new role as a director, and this idea of creativity as information architecture, what you end up with is a portrait of a completely new kind of creator.
The big takeaway here is that the modern creator isn't just one thing anymore. You can't be. You have to wear all these different hats. You're a narrative strategist, an applied AI researcher, constantly testing prompts, an information architect, designing the structure of your world, a content curator, picking the best parts, and maybe most importantly, a systems thinker who can see how all these different pieces connect and work together.
And this really brings it all home. The very definition of art is expanding right before our eyes. The creativity isn't just in the final text on the page or the final image. It's also in the elegance, the intelligence of the actual system you designed to produce that output.
And that, right there, is the ultimate takeaway. The future isn't going to belong to people who can just master a new tool. It's going to belong to the people who can design, direct, and manage these intelligent systems. The ones who can architect the entire creative ecosystem that brings new worlds to life.
So, as we're all standing here right on the edge of this brand new creative world, that's the real question you have to ask yourself. Are you a craftsperson focused on perfecting the old way of doing things? Or are you an architect ready to design the very systems that will build the worlds of tomorrow?